welcome back to my channel. This is my June reading wrap-up. So for the month of June, I read 6 books, almost 7. So I hate that. I hate like leaving a book not read at the end of the month. But stuff came up and I could not finish the book on the last day of June. So I've read 6 and like 3/4 books this month. This was a really weird month for me. I feel like I was like overwhelmed with the books that I have. And like I couldn't like focus on one book, and I kept like switching from one book to another, and then that resulted in me not reading as many books as I did last month. So next month, or this month for July, I'm definitely gonna have like a goal. I'm gonna have a TBR and I'm gonna try to stick with my TBR. But without further ado, here are the books that I read this month and my thoughts on them. Kicking off the month, I read The Wrath of the Dawn by Dyer. This book was wonderful and I loved it so much. It follows our main character Shahrazad as she volunteers to be the king's bride. The king, Khalid, is known for taking a new bride every single day and then murdering that bride at dawn. The Wrath and the Dawn. And so Shahrazad decides to volunteer to be a bride so that she can kill him and stop the evilness that he's doing. But while she's in the palace and she's his wife, you know, for that night, she intrigues the king, and then so he doesn't kill her that next day. And then she starts to like notice some things about the king that no one else really notices. She kind of starts to understand him, and I mean, she kind of starts to fall for him a little bit. So this is their story, and I loved it so much. This, without a doubt, is on my top list of best written books. The way she wrote, the language that she used, it was just spectacular. I loved how there was other language in here, and sometimes it could get confusing. But, see, I have a little tab here because I used this so much, her glossary. And I could just flip to the word that I needed, you know, and it was always italicized if it was in the glossary in the book. So I could flip to the glossary and know what the word was. I loved that. Also, I love that we have a diverse main character in this. I think that's awesome. 10,000 points goes to Dyer for this book. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was wonderful and I enjoyed it so much, and I can't wait to read The Rose and the Dagger. And then I read Parallel. Parallel. This follows our main character as she's in her senior year of high school. She has her plans all set up, but then, for some reason, she has her plans all set up where she wants to go to college, and then she actually gets a movie deal, and so she is on a movie, and so her plans kind of get derailed. But then she wakes up in a whole different life, not on the movie set, in a whole different life. Her friends are still there, but it's a whole different universe. And so they kind of figure out that there are parallel universes with their parallel selves, and for some reason she can remember her different parallel universes, but other people can't. See, I can't even explain this book because it was so effed. Like, it was so poorly done. I'm sorry, Lauren Miller. It was not good. Like, everything about this book I didn't like. Like, the way that they explained the parallel universes was just so like info dumpy and just did not make sense. At the end of this book, I still can't really tell you how it works because I don't get it. I don't get it. The main character had no development within herself except for chasing after a boy. There was a freaking love triangle like there usually is in YA, and it just, these kids were privileged. They were running around. They go to Yale, but they don't study ever. Like, come on now. I just can't do this book. It's such a disappointment. 1 out of 5 stars. I mean, I really don't like to turn people away from reading, but there's a reason why people don't talk about this book. Because it sucked. Right, let's talk about the Gail Forman books that I read this month. I read If I Stay and Where She Went. This is a duology, and it was wonderful. I actually went into this with kind of low expectations. I don't know. If I Stay is, so I don't want to say my synopsis of what it's about, because the back of the book, like the way the synopsis is written in here, like it leaves no, like it does not tell you really what happens in this book. And I was so surprised about what this book was about. But basically, it says, caught between life and death, between happy past and an unknowable future, Mia spends one critical day contemplating the only decision she has left, the most critical decision she'll ever make. So, that's what that says. I'm going to leave it at that. This book was wonderful. I loved the characters. I loved the parents in this, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I took off a star is because there was a lot of backstory that I didn't like. It was like past tense, and I wanted to stay in the present tense, but I understand why Gayle Forman did that. It made me feel for the characters more, to learn more about them, but what was happening in the now was just so intriguing, and I wanted to know what was going to happen. I just found myself like kind of skimming over the backstory because I really wanted to get to what was happening. But other than that, this book was wonderful and I loved it. Where She Went was pretty much the same thing. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, the same rating. However, I did not enjoy this as much as If I Stay. I really think that these two books could have been one whole book. They could have cut out some of the fluff and just made it one book. I do like that this is told from Adam's perspective. I do like that. But I feel like Gayle Forman still could have done that, but like made one half of the book, you know, Mia, and the other half Adam. I don't know. I thought this was, it took a long time to get it. Not this one. This one took a long time to really get into it. There was like this big elephant in the room that wasn't addressed until literally like all the way back here, and I'm just like, eh. But I still enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the story. Like, I like this story, so I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. And then I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Okay, guys, Noah Shaw. I had no clue what was going on the entire time. So confused, but in a good way, and just so delightfully enthralled in this book. So basically, Mara Dyer wakes up with no knowledge of what has happened. There's been a tragic incident. All her friends are dead, and she doesn't know why. And so her family picks up and moves, and they go live in a different state, and she meets Noah, and the weird stuff is happening to her, and she's trying to make sense of it all. And while you're reading, you're trying to make sense of it all. You're trying to figure out, how crazy is she? Like, it was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. Yes, there were some things that were kind of cliche in this, but for the most part, like, come on. Like, this was so good. I cannot wait to read The Evolution of Mara Dyer. It's the second book in this trilogy. And then I read The Problem with Forever. And then I read The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. What did I give this book? Did I give it a 2 star? I gave it a 2.5 stars out of 5. I loved the beginning of this. Really loved the beginning of this book. The first, like, this much of the book was really good. Really good. And then I was like, can this be over? Are we done yet? This thing is so unnecessarily long. The book is about our main character, Mallory, who grew up in foster care, and then she was adopted, and then she was really afraid to talk. She had a lot of PTSD from her time at the foster child. She had a really hard time talking because of her PTSD from her time spent in foster care. And so she's been homeschooled, but now she's going to a public school for her senior year of high school. And at the high school, she meets one of the boys that she lived with at the foster home, and they really had a connection when they were growing up. And so they meet, and again, and it's their story. And yeah, oh, Jennifer L. And this was my first Jennifer L. Armentrout book, and I'm kind of disappointed because I heard people love her, and I didn't love this book. I thought the writing was just meh. I thought the character development of the side characters could have been so much better. Like, we had some really good side characters, but they weren't really developed or really, like, I just wanted to see more of them. It had the YA trope of the bitchy girlfriend who makes the main character look better because the girlfriend is so bitchy. It had that, and I didn't like that. And while there was a lot of diversity in this book, it was kind of stereotypical. Like, there were some things I was like, come on now. But I have to give her points for trying to write a book with so many diverse characters. I respect that. More authors should do that. So I ended up giving it a 2.5 out of 5-star rating. And lastly, the book that I'm not done yet with. I started this at the beginning of June, stopped reading it because I was doing a readathon, and then I picked it back up, but I just haven't been reading that much in the past couple of days because I've been really busy. So, I mean, I'm going to finish it pretty soon. I'll probably finish it today or tomorrow. But this is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This book, it's won so many awards, and I can tell why. It's so good. Like, the writing is good, the message is so good, the characters are so good. Oh, the brother and sister, the twins, their relationship, like when he talks about giving her the sun and the moon, and oh my gosh, it's just so beautifully done, and I'm not finished with it yet. So I can't even really talk that much about it, but guys, this is something special. Like, you know when you're picking something up and you're reading something really special. This is one of those books, definitely. So I will give you my rating and my July wrap up, or you can check me out on Goodreads. I'm sure I will have a review or rating up in the next couple of days. So there you have it, folks. That's the books that I read in June. Make sure to tune in. I will be posting my July TBR very soon. Until next time, happy reading.